All right, on the clock. Green flag is out, and it's the 5 Graham Trucking across the Northern Quest Resort and Casino start-finish line with Jimmy Shane. Jimmy Shane right now is third in the point standings with 2,073. Then you have Steve David in second place with 3,135, and Dave Milwaukee in the 1 Spirit of Qatar with 3,650 points, your points leader. Bottom of the course, turn number 2, guys. Looks pretty smooth down there in the 5.
So far, so good for him. As I'm trying to make my way through a crew and get out of the way of a boat coming overhead, but...
Look out.
Yeah. No, but he looks pretty good coming down the backstretch. Not quite the speed that I think we are going to see out of him so far today, but hey, it's only his first lap.
Yeah, it's kind of an orange boat, and then you've got that red streak up on top of the cowling. And coming up to turn number 3, it's the 5 Graham Trucking and Jimmy Shane sliding out into lane number 2 at the exit pin of turn number 4 onto the front stretch. A little bit of a walk on the sponsons, but almost like he's sticking to the water, not really hydroplaning so much. You need to get a little more air into that boat. Looks like 150.040 miles per hour right now for the third boat standings, the 5 with Jimmy Shane.
Bit of roughness there, a little bit of a roller at the apex here as he heads into turn number 2. Lost some speed coming around the far side, but picks it up on the backstretch, starting to get a little choppy as we had a bit of a breeze come through here. And right now, let me jump in with John Zimmerman. And so tell me, how are we running so far?
The boat's getting better and better all day long. The crew's doing a great job with it.
And Mike, did you, once again, what was the time you had for him?
And I'm sorry, Jeff, who?
John Zimmerman.
Yes, right here. The fastest lap of 149.300.
149.300. How do you think about that?
We'd like to be in the 150s, but we'll take it. We're going to come back out again, so we'll give it another try.
Is it a combination issue? You think you got to swap a few things out?
Yeah, we're looking for the right setup. We'll get there. There's a sharp group of guys working on this boat.
All right, well, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, John Zimmerman there with the... look at my sponsor.
Jones Racing.
LifeSwap presents Sound Propeller Services.
There
we go.
Very good. Well, the 5 Graham Trucking with Jimmy Shane out of the course, and the second lap, 151.298 miles per hour, Jeff. And still, the 88-degree men, our fastest qualifier at 153 and change.
Well, that may not hold for long because looking down pit row here, I see
Steve
2 boats. Steve David and Dave Milwaukee both prepping to come out. They still have a few more boats ahead of them, but they're obviously going to give the 88 boat a run for their money.
And back into turn number 4, west end of the course, exit pin, holding on to lane number 1. A nice turn that time for Jimmy Shane in the 5 Graham Trucking across the Northern Quest Resort and Casino start-finish line, and a 153.152, and that would be a new fast lap. Again, that's 153.1.
Well, where that hole is and what line to take through the corner to try and miss it.
Yeah, you can see it from here. There's no question about it. The water does change right there. The current is going really fast down to the south, but I will say this, right at that second pin, as you come around the apex and then you start moving towards the exit buoy, the middle buoy, there's a dark spot right there, and we'll see right here. Here he comes, Jimmy Shane making his way, and he's going to go right over the top of it, bounces right through it. Nice job. 5, the Graham Trucking boat, making a nice move right over the top of it.
And Jimmy Shane up the back stretch in the U5 Graham Trucking earlier in qualifying, a 153.152 miles per hour. Currently, he is sitting in 4th place on our qualifying ladder for the Lamb Weston Columbia Cup, and he'll be on the clock into turn number 3. The smoother end of the course is what we've seen so far, and that's what we expect here on the Columbia River course. Lake Wallula, McNary Pool, lane number 2, coming off the exit pin. Down the front stretch, here comes Jimmy Shane across the start-finish line of the U5 in the 5 Graham Trucking, and a 151.778 miles per hour. He needs to find a little bit more, guys.
Yeah, here he comes down to the corner here now. 151. He wants to squeeze a little bit more. What is Steve David's speed, guys?
Steve David, 156.473.
Oh! And he got up in the air right there, right at the apex of the turn. Again, very choppy water as it comes out of number 2. Lost a little bit right there. Let's hope he can make it up here on the backside.
That is the danger zone right there. Up the backstretch. the 5 Graham Trucking Jimmy Shane. First lap of 151.778 miles per hour. Right now he's trying to improve his score and maybe jump back in front of the 88-degree men. That just came out. Scott Liddycoat bested him by about a mile an hour. Up top into the course, sliding out a little bit at the exit pin at turn number 4. Here comes the 5 Graham Trucking with Jimmy Shane across the Northern Quest Resort and Casino start-finish line at a 151.619. So it's almost the same as the other one, Tony.
I'll tell you what, he got himself some air coming right around turn number 1.
There he comes again.
Got the skid pin down in the lake. Getting very close to the pins. Then he goes over on the side again, moves hard to the right. And now he straightens it back out and is heading down to the backside.
You know what happens? He just hits that dead spot, and the sponson just kind of keels over to the outside.
And it really does slide to the right there, and he did a great job of regaining control and pulling it back into lane number 2. But boy, I'll tell you what, he slid real wide. He was out all the way out into lane 5 on that one.
610 KONA, Kennewick, Richland, Pasco. Just a reminder for our listeners out there that are driving about, especially up on the Blue Bridge, keep your eyes on the road. Traffic stops very quickly in front of you, and you don't want to be looking at the boats on the water. If you do, come down to Columbia Park and join us. Across the start-finish line, it's lap number 3 and a 151.459, so all 151s, and no improvement out there for the 5 Graham Trucking. And Jimmy Shane will take it back to the Neil F. Lamson pits, and do we have anybody that's going to be pushing out real quick?